What a year. So today it is the 22nd of December 2025. Today I'd like to do a little bit of reflection. Of course, it is the end of the year. It is a time where people are starting to make vision boards for 2026. They're making goals. They're planning out what they're going to do. There's a lot of reflection going on at this time of year. And I'm somebody who really enjoys reflection. Okay, what can I learn from this? What can I take from this? How can I make my future even better with the knowledge I have now? And this year was a very, very transformational year for me. And not only in a good way, it was a very tough year. I've talked about this before, but this year kicked my ass. Big time. This year was awful. And I never, ever want to experience a year like this ever again. And I say that with chest. This year almost killed me. So many things went wrong. So much happened. So much came out of left field. There were things that I was so sure would work out, things that I was so set on, that I was so passionate about, that I was so excited about and lit up by, that just never happened, that just didn't work out or didn't ever become anything. And while it wasn't all doom and gloom, you know, every tough time in life has its moments. But by and large, you know, I look back on 2025 and I can't think of a single reason why I would want to relive this year. This year was also the year that I had a big metamorphosis around spirituality. Back in April, May time, I had basically reached breaking point with spirituality in general, with manifestation. I actually ended up walking away from it all. I used to upload tarot videos on this channel. I deleted all of my videos, even though a couple of them had done really well. I had quite a lot of views, but I deleted everything and I put all of my tarot and oracle cards away. I took away the altar I had at the time, didn't focus on anything spirituality related at all. I want to say a good few months I didn't touch it again. I was just so done and I was so fed up of pouring into something that was giving me nothing in return. Some people would say, oh, well, clearly you were doing something wrong. Clearly you weren't manifesting right. Clearly it was your fault. I think this is such a toxic thing to say. I think the way that manifestation is talked about and the way it completely ignores systematic oppression, inequality, privilege, all of these things that give certain people a huge advantage in life is completely not even talked about. And while I definitely think that no matter what you come from, no matter what your situation is, you can always change it, it's easy for a 19-year-old from LA who has amazing parents who support them to say, just relax, just trust, you are the operant power, and completely ignore that some people are not in a situation where they can just trust because they've got bills to pay, they've got mouths to feed, they've got things that they have to do. And there's almost this encouragement of being reckless and like ignoring your reality. A lot of people don't have the luxury of ignoring their reality. And I think it's ridiculous to suggest that everybody can do that. And I've briefly spoken about the problems I have with the manifestation community online. And those things, by and large, still stand. I still think that. And I definitely don't view manifestation in the same way that these other gurus do. But I'm also definitely not in the business of buying into wishful thinking necessarily. There's an element of magic, I'd like to believe. And of course there are situations where something can drop out of the sky and it can be a miracle and it can come out of nowhere. Of course there are always going to be situations like that. I've experienced things like that, so I know it's possible. But I think the part that people in the community get wrong, while there are situations where manifestations can drop from the sky, a lot of the time, and I would argue most of the time, it isn't like that. You are given pushes or nudges or ideas. You are given a path or an opportunity or some kind of route to walk down that will lead you to where you want to be. I heard this analogy once years ago. People will want to manifest a cake, but then they'll complain that they don't have the cake when the universe has given them the eggs, the sugar, the flour, baking powder, whatever else you need for a cake. The universe has given you the exact things that you need to make the cake. You just need to put it together. Sometimes, yes, you will manifest somebody giving you a cake, someone just showing up randomly with a cake, or a situation where a cake will be there. But also, sometimes you get given the ingredients. Sometimes that's how it comes in. And you never know how that is going to play out. Of course, we would all love for a cake to just show up and for us to not have to do the work. Sometimes that's not how life plays out. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it leads people to believe that every single manifestation is going to just drop from the sky. It prevents people from taking action because they listen to these people online saying, you don't have to do anything at all. You can just sit in bed and affirm for 5 hours a day. And there is a specific channel who gives that advice verbatim. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I think that mentality is so dangerous and so damaging. Really, really misunderstands what manifestation is. So going into 2026, I think the approach that I'm going to take, I think, is the most balanced approach, to basically kind of sit somewhere in the middle, not believing that I can just do nothing and wishful thinking and everything will fall in. Also not hustle, work hard until you die. Somewhere in the middle, which I think is healthy. I think the good gurus that are out there, they teach this kind of manifestation. This looks like continuous focus on nervous system regulation, keeping my mind as clear as I possibly can so that I can hear intuitive nudges, discern what the correct thing to do is going forward. And then when I do get a nudge, I follow that. Following the nudges isn't the part that I struggle with. Taking action has never been the part that I struggle with. I have always been an action taker. I have always been somebody who does what I need to do. I wanted to move to South Korea, so I took the steps I needed to move to South Korea and I made it happen. In the past, I have wanted certain jobs, so I have searched for said jobs and I have applied for said jobs and I have put myself out there. Same goes for other kinds of things as well, just asking people and just throwing it out into the universe. For me, that's not the problem. The problem is what happens in response to my efforts. And the reason this year has been so sucky is because every time I have tried to make a move and every time I've tried to do something or make progress or follow a nudge, it's not led to anything, or it's failed, or it flopped, or it just didn't work out, which is insanely frustrating. It's led to me just being like, you know what? I just have to accept that this year is cursed. And it's just not going to happen, is it? This year is a write-off. Fuck it, you know? I've been tried and tested enough this year, so what's 9 more days? But 2026 already has much better vibes. I've been kind of feeling into the energy of 2026 and it's been making me feel excited, which I see as a good sign because I didn't really feel that before the new year in 2024, and I think that should have been my first sign. But this year I have. 2026 is also a 1 year, whereas 2025 was a 9 year. It's all about endings and closing out cycles, which is definitely a theme from this year. And that 9 year was combined with the year of the snake in the Chinese zodiac. The snake is about shedding and letting go of things that don't serve you. This year was a whole bunch of that. And of course, as much as this year has been a lot of upsetting disappointments, anger, rage, disappointments, frustration, all of these things, there is a part of me that understands, or honestly, I have to believe at this point that there was a reason for all of that. And it wasn't just me being miserable and suffering and being blocked at every turn for no reason. I have to believe at this point that it's leading me to something even better. everything didn't work out because I was meant to do something even better. Like I said, 2026 is a 1 year. The number 1 is about new beginnings, fresh starts, and also combined with Year of the Horse. The horse is about momentum, forward movement, progress, so things like that. But if there's anything I've learned from this year, which I have learned a lot of things, it's that sometimes parts of your journey are not always going to be filled with success and progress and joy and movement. Sometimes it sucks, and sometimes you have an entire year of doors slamming in your face. So we shall see how 2026 plays out. But anyway, I don't want this video to get too long. This was basically me kind of closing out this year, being honest. If this year has also been hard for you, I want to just validate you for a second. A lot of people in this community, if they hear you talking about a hard time you're going through or some things that didn't work out, their first instinct is to tell you that you did something wrong, it's your fault, you're to blame, and that you shouldn't complain or you shouldn't feel stressed out because you caused this. I'm not about that here. If you've had a tough year, if things have been shit, I feel you first of all, but also it is not your fault. Like I said, I like to believe that it's for a reason and you didn't go through all of that for nothing. You learned some things, learned more about yourself. You have cleared the way. You have cleared the path for the next part. Will be a lot better. So that's it. I think this video will be my last video of 2025. Have a very Merry Christmas. I hope that whatever your situation is right now, whatever you're going through, that you can at least have a peaceful, happy Christmas. I hope that 2026 brings you the blessings that you deserve, and Happy New Year. Last quick reminder that I do still have my sale on my Etsy store. You can still use code REGULATION for 25% off. That runs until the 8th of January. So if you want that, if you want to grab a reading, if you want to get some messages for 2026, then go ahead on over there and get yourself a little discount. All right, I'm gonna stop yapping now. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.